Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video game review. And for this one, we're going to be looking at Sushi Strikers: The Way of Sushi Go, if I'm saying the name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize for that. For the Nintendo Switch, also available on the Nintendo 3DS and 2DS. Plus, my thoughts on, which we'll say for later, my thoughts on Disney officially buying Fox, though, and I'll save that for a little bit later. And if you're interested in gameplay footage of me playing Sushi Striker, I'll have a link in the description below. When it comes to Nintendo games, most gamers, or those who have been around, or those who are new, will recognize them for Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. And also other franchises like Donkey Kong, Kirby, and so forth. But every once in a while, Nintendo will do something a little bit different and put out sort of a unique game out there. Whether it's Brain Age, whether it's Rhythm Heaven, whether it's Elite Beat Agent, or whether it's Wii Music. And while some of those new ones out there like WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven have found success, and which, for the record, I would love to see a new WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven come to the Nintendo Switch. Others, however, don't really find that much success. I mean, Elite Beat Agent, unfortunately, from what I understand, didn't exactly perform very well, which is one of the reasons why we didn't get a sequel out here. And then, of course, there was Wii Music, which part of me feels sorry for what happened for that game, but at the same time, when you had a very crappy presentation, E3 2008 to be exact, yeah, you can see why though. So Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushi Odo, why am I having a hard time saying that name, is the new game out for Nintendo. And while it's unclear whether or not this will be the next Pokemon or Mario or Zelda or anything like that, though, I will say the game is surprisingly fun. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons? We'll start first with the pros. And the first part I want to talk about is the gameplay. This is probably the game's strong point, though. The gameplay is very fun and addictive. The whole concept behind it is that you have to match up the plates as they move across I think a carousel or a belt or something like that. You match up the colors and you have to stack up your plates. Basically, you're matching the plates to eat up the sushis and so forth, and you use those plates to fling back to your enemies to do damage to them. So the higher the stack of your plates, the more damage you do. Along the way, you'll pick up something called sushi spirits, where you use these spirits when their meter fills up, for them to help give you some advantages in the game. One sushi spirit will have all the plates the same color, making you able to line up multiple plates. Others might give you a shield, others might zap lightning at the enemies, and so forth. So, from a gameplay perspective, it's very fun and very addictive. It's a bit of like a puzzle-like type kind of approach in terms of the gameplay. So you can check out the gameplay. Again, link in the description. But from the gameplay perspective, it's fun and addictive. The next one I want to talk about is the visuals. And while I don't expect this game to be any like a visual powerhouse or anything like that, don't expect it to wow you like, say, Octopath Traveler. I think that's raising the bar way too high for this game, to be exact. But I mean, the visuals look nice to it. I mean, it has sort of an anime look to it and so forth. And some of the cutscenes, or like the anime cutscenes that they show, are really neat as well. So I like the anime look to the game. And last but not least, I do want to point out is that this game, if you're playing on the Switch or 3DS, I believe this is also available on the 3DS feature, is also on the 3DS version as well, is the use of the touchscreen. And honestly, the touchscreen works very well in this game, though. You basically, so as the sushis are like crossing over like that, you sort of use your finger to line up all the color plates together and sort of match them, and you sort of flick your finger like this to fling the dishes to the plates to the enemies and so forth. So as far as touchscreen controls go, the game works very well with it, though, and And so it's really nice to see that there are some games that still use that touchscreen feature when it's implemented correctly. And I feel that for this game, the touchscreen controls work well and they're implemented correctly. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2 of our video. This will be the cons, plus my thoughts on Disney officially buying out Fox. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of Sushi Striker for the Nintendo Switch. So now that I gave you my pros, why don't I give you the cons? And there are 3 cons I have for Sushi Striker. We'll start off with the first one, and that has to do with using a controller. Now, as I mentioned earlier, though, I told you about how using the touchscreen and how it worked well, though. And the controller, you could play the game using either the Pro controller or the Joy-Cons, and they work, but it takes some getting used to. I just feel like between the touchscreen and using a Pro controller or the Joy-Cons, I feel that using a controller is not as precise as, say, using the touchscreen, for example. There are some advantages, though, such as the fact that rather than, like, when you have to throw the plates to your opponent, rather than using your finger to sort of flick it like this, you just push the X button and it just throws the plate right away. Your player will throw the plates right away to your opponent. So, some advantages, though, but I will say, in terms of playing the game using a controller, it does take some getting used to, and like I said, it works, but it's just not as precise as, say, using the touchscreen, though. The next thing I do want to point out is the difficulty spike, though. This game can get a little bit difficult as you progress further along in the game, and sometimes your opponent may do stuff like they may have like a sushi spirit where the conveyor belt where all the sushis go through could go a little bit faster, making it a little bit difficult to basically line up and match the plates, to the fact that you could have an enemy that's more powerful than you are if you're not careful. If there is one bright spot, however, it's the fact that you can replay levels that you completed, where you can sort of level up your character, so you can at least go in with somewhat in a better position than you were when you took on that character in the first place. So, difficulty spike, to me, not as a bad thing. It might be for some people, but it is worth pointing out there is a difficulty spike in the game. And last but not least, it's worth pointing out that the story in the game it's alright. I mean, it's dumb. The whole premise of the whole thing evolves around sushi. I mean, it's just weird and bizarre, okay? I mean, in other words, it's dumb, but in a good way. I don't think that's negative or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that don't go in playing Sushi Striker expecting you're going to expect a Metal Gear Solid story or anything like that. Like I said, it's dumb, but in a good way. So the story's alright. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest thing ever written at all like that. Overall, I did have fun with Sushi Striker, though. The game is a very addictive puzzle / RPG type of a game. Like I said, the whole thing is dumb, but it has its charm, though. The whole line up the dishes and throw it back to your opponents is really neat. It can be fast paced and it can be very challenging, and I like that, though. And it is a very fun game, and it's obviously one that I think people should at least try out. It is somewhat of a niche title. It may not have the same recognitions as, say, like Mario or Zelda, excuse me, but I still find the title to be enjoyable, and I do hope others try it out and enjoy it as much as I did. And who knows, maybe it will do well enough that perhaps we'll get a sequel or something like that. Sushi Striker 2 or Teriyaki Bowl Striker or something like that. I think Sushi Striker is better, but overall, I enjoyed it, and I think it's at least worth trying out, though. Okay, before I end this video, I do want to give my thoughts on Disney officially buying 20th Century Fox. Now, as you all know, we've been hearing about Disney acquiring Fox and so forth, and there was this bidding war between Comcast and Disney. Comcast outbidded Disney first. Disney then later outbidded Comcast and went back and forth until Comcast recently decided to back out of it, and currently it's now focusing on getting Sky Network though. Well, apparently today, or apparently this week though, it was officially been approved by the shareholders that Disney has officially bought Fox. In an article in the Hollywood Reporter, again, I'll have a link in the description, it says, quote, Walt Disney and 21st Century Fox shareholders on Friday voted in favor of a $71.3 billion deal in which Disney will acquire large parts of Fox, including 20th Century Fox and TV studios, Fox Entertainment Cable Network, and its international assets. Disney and Fox special shareholders meeting on the deal took place at New York's Hilton Midtown Plaza. Within 8 minutes, the combined merger proposal for 20th Century Fox received a majority of the votes from its shareholders to approve the deal for Disney to acquire a number of Fox assets. The portion of Fox that Disney proposed to purchase includes TVs and movie studios, Star India, FX, Nat Geo, that's Neo Geo, Fox 30% stake in Hulu, and Fox 39% stake in Sky, the European paid TV company that Comcast is looking to acquire. The way was cleared for Disney to acquire Fox assets after rival Comcast dropped its own $65 billion bid for Fox Access, but Comcast remains in the lead for the hunt for Sky, having submitted a raised $34 billion offer to prevail over the rival bid of Fox. Disney recently gained regulatory approval for its Fox deal after the chairman and CEO Bob Iger, during an analysis call, said the company was in better place than Comcast to secure regulatory approval for the deal. Last month, the U.S. Justice Department blessed the merger on the condition that Fox Sports, a Fox Sports region network, to be sold rather than go to Disney, but more reviews from other agencies are still required. According to this, it says Disney expects to pay about $35.7 billion in cash and issue a $343 million Disney share to Fox stockholders. So when the transaction closes after final regulatory approval, Fox shareholders will own about 17 to 20% of New Disney. What Disney did not purchase is for now known as New Fox, and it includes the broadcast network of Fox News Channel, Fox Business Network, and FX1 and FX2. That's Fox Sports Network 1, Fox Sports Network 2. So it looks like that unless something else emerges, it seems as though Disney will be acquiring 20th Century Fox. So it looks like we'll be seeing stuff like Bob's Burger and Family Guy and The Simpsons, although that show will be soon. I hear it's going to be on its last season. Don't know if that's true or not. We'll be requiring all those shows, including the movie rights as well, such as Aliens, Predator, and of course the Planet of the Apes franchise. And of course, for a Marvel fan of the MCU, that means the X-Men and Daredevil and Fantastic Four will go back to Marvel as well. And honestly, that part I'm happy about, because ever since the MCU's success so far, I've been looking forward to hopefully seeing one day, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Deadpool return to the MCU. The Fantastic Four, and I think even Silver Surfer as well, I do believe have an opportunity, considering that the last movie the Fantastic Four did was the 2015 Josh Trank, known as Fan Four Stick, that did terrible at the box office. So they have an opportunity to introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU. X-Men and Deadpool might be somewhat of a different story, considering that we still have the X-Men, I think Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants, although there's been some rumors going around that there's been some problems with those, and those might be shelved completely. Don't know if that's true or not. Still, it will be interesting to see if that does happen, how those would play out in, say, bringing the X-Men into the MCU. Deadpool is also another thing as well, considering the success he has had so far, although I'm pretty sure they could figure out something, how to bring him into the MCU. I mean, after all, Deadpool is known for breaking the fourth wall. And so it would be very interesting to see how they introduce these characters into the MCU as well. And maybe they'll keep the Fox name and make it under a different brand. I mean, after all, Disney has, Touchstone Pictures, where they do a lot of the films like for an older audience and so forth. So maybe they'll do something with that. Honestly, kind of mixed on this one. I'm glad that they're getting the rights to the Marvel characters, and now these are going to be coming back into the MCU. I know there are some people who are concerned that, Disney's monopolizing and all that stuff, and there's a concern that of the quality of the films. I mean, at the same time, I remember when people were upset when Disney bought Marvel, and people were worried about the quality of that brand. And well, look where Marvel Studios is right now. Look, ever since the success of Iron Man, Disney purchased Marvel, and since then, Marvel Studios has been on a roll so far. I mean, while not every movie gotten great reviews, they have done pretty well at the box office. So I do have high hopes with Disney buying Fox. There might be some concerns in some areas, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe if they do that fourth Planet of the Apes movie, it will probably be under maybe the word 20th Century Fox, a Walt Disney company, which I believe The Simpsons did a spoof on that one as well. So overall, we'll take a wait and see. But if there is one part that I am happy so far, is the fact that the X-Men and Fantastic Four we're going to hopefully be seeing them into the MCU really soon, along with Deadpool. How they integrate them into the MCU remains to be seen. Okay, this concludes this video review of Sushi Striker for the Nintendo Switch, and my thoughts of Disney pretty much at this point buying 20th Century Fox. And again, these are my opinion, but what are yours? What are your thoughts about Sushi Striker? Have you played the game yet? Have you enjoyed the game? Have you hated the game? Do you think the gameplay is fun and addictive? Do you like using the touchscreen, or do you prefer using the controller instead? Do you think the story is okay? Do you think it's dumb in a good way or dumb in a bad way? Did you like the game? Did you not like the game? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? And what are your thoughts about Disney buying Fox? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a bad thing? Are you kind of in the middle, or do you not really care at all? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications for more videos when I put up some new videos. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do through PayPal me or Patreon, which will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!